We now take you to the KINK Live Performance Lounge for a special live KINK artist performance, brought to you by Volkswagen.
Welcome to the Live Performance Lounge. Dave Scott checking in here for the KINK Afternoon Show, and we'd like to welcome you listening there at home, and of course introduce you to everyone here in the KINK Live Performance Lounge. How you guys feeling today? Yeah. Definitely. Well, this has been a day we've all been looking forward to for a long time, and I'm sure everyone here is a rabid fan who knows this lady's career up and down, so I don't need to do the musical resume. All I need to let you know is that she is in town tonight to play the Child Center, has a wonderful new record. Who here has heard Scarlet's Walk? Beautiful. Beautiful new piece of work, and we are so happy that she decided to join us today to play for us. Ladies and gentlemen, from the KINK Live Performance Lounge, here is Tori Amos.
Not saying, not charmed at all. Not saying that you weren't worth a foul, but I was alone when I knew it was real down the canyon. When I knew I had come to the line, through the dawn, to the light, to the dawn, when you said you could drive all night, drive all night, so really crazy, take a spin. Been a little crazy, settling, kicked off my shoes, shut reason out. He said, first let's just unzip your religion, damn. Found that I craved it all. So me moved into your native shelter, where you call my name. Paper tigers scare me and came alive through the dawn, to the light, to the dawn, when you said you could drive all night, drive all night, so really crazy, take a spin. Been a little crazy, settling, kicked off my shoes, shut reason out. He said, first let's just unzip your religion, damn, so really crazy, pull me in. Been only crazy, take a spin, kicked off my shoes, shut reason out. said, first let's just unzip your religion down. Heard that you were once temptation's girl, and as soon as you've rearranged the mess in your head, he will show up looking sane, perfectly sane, if I know crazy.
Tori Amos, live from the KINK Live Performance Lounge, and that song was entitled
Crazy.
Crazy. Yes, we all know. Tori, welcome to Portland again.
Yes, so good to be on the West Coast, huh? Phew.
Yeah, we were just talking about the East Coast and how cold it is and how you can't wear open-toed shoes, and it's nice to live in the part of the country where you can look stylish even in the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
So your songwriting career dating back so many years, although I did a little research. I found out your first official song, do you remember? At least according to what I researched, was 17 years old. And it was a contest that was sponsored by the Baltimore Orioles. And it was a song you wrote called Baltimore. Do you remember? You wrote it with your brother?
No.
Not true.
No. Yes, no. No, that was like 10 years later, after, the big one that everybody knows, which is, and I was walking down the road with a jackass and a toad. That was probably the first.
And it led all the way up to the latest album, Scarlet's Walk. And that's the end of the story. Thank you. Good night. I'm really anxious to hear about your road trip and what that entailed.
So does my husband.
Yeah.
He wants to know all about it.
How you traveled? Did you hitchhike? I mean, here's the visualization I had when I heard that you went on a 50. Do I have this right? You visited every one of the 50 states.
Except Alaska.
Except Alaska. And I pictured you, hitchhiking down the road like you're traveling down I-90 and there's this hitchhiker and you pick it up and it's Tori Amos.
Well, this is the thing. It took me a long, long time to do this trip. So it's over many years. And when I was on the road last year, and I had night duty because Tosh, my little girl, was a year old, so I had to give the nanny a break. So she'd go to bed. I'd come off stage, and I would just be there and going past all these road signs. And that's when I was able to kind of do my research. And so it was this remembrance of all the times I'd crossed through this land when I wasn't a mom, but also when I was a mom, some of the songs are influenced by that too.
Did you find that you met people that ended up in your songs that inspired you to maybe write, that if you hadn't met them, you might not have come up with the idea in the first place?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, all the characters are based on real people.
Any in particular that come to mind that you could introduce us to?
You mean a song?
No, people that you met. Any stories from the road, interesting conversations that you had.
Yeah, I think probably somebody who sticks in my mind a lot is this Native American woman came to see me on the road last year, which pushed the album to get written in the way that it was. It was kind of cooking already, but she came backstage, and she wasn't there for the music. She was somehow working through the venue, and she was older, and she just said, I have a message for this singing person. And so she came and brought her message, and part of that message was that the people that own the land and the people that hold the land must come together for the sake of her survival. And there were tears running down her face. And she said the ancestors are visiting a lot of people now, and they will be coming because they have not relinquished their hold on her soul. And if you're going to tell her story, then you have to go back to the ancient people. And it was one of those, I don't know, pivotal moments in my life. And I think that night, the story just completely made sense. I had many scattered pieces, and I saw the curve of the story that night. And it was just one of those moments in your life where you just say, oh my God.
It's good once in a while to really shake up your life, and sometimes it helps you to gain a whole brand new perspective. And in your case, as a songwriter, that's a very valuable thing.
Well, yeah, and I think sometimes you know a song's coming, and many were coming, but I didn't really realize at first that America was a character in this and that she would shape-shift through the women. And then once the Native American woman visited me, I began to understand that a lot of their way of doing things, the shape-shifting, was a part of the whole story. And until she visited, I was just not clear.
Is it any wonder this is such a striking record? Would you like to hear some more music? Yeah. Once again, from the KINK Live Performance Lounge, the music of Tori, Amos.
On my way up north, up on the Venture, I pulled back the hood, and I was talking to you, and I knew then it would be a lifelong thing, but I didn't know that we could break a silver lining. And I'm so sick, like a good book, I can't put this deep ink, a sort of fairy tale with you. Oh yes, a sort of fairy tale with you. Things you said that day up on the 101, the girl had come undone. I tried to downplay with a bit about us. You said you'd take it as long as I could. I cannot erase it, and I'm so sick, like a good book, I can't put this deep in, a sort of fairy tale with you. Oh yes, a sort of fairy tale with you. And I ride alongside, and I rode alongside them, and I rode alongside till you lost me there in the open road. Rode alongside till the honey spread itself so thin for me to break your bread, for me to take your word. I had to steal it, and I'm so sad, like a good book, I can't put this deep back, a sort of fairy tale with you. I could pick back up whenever I feel. Way up north, I took my day. All in all was a pretty nice day, and I put the hood right back where you could taste heaven perfectly. Feel out the summer breeze. Didn't know when we'd be back, and didn't think we'd end up like this.
From A Scarlet's Walk, a sort of fairy tale. This afternoon at KINK, FM 102. Tori Amos joining us today. Again, great to see you, Tori. And glad to see there's more to you than just a head and a foot. Who here has seen the video for A Sort of Fairy Tale? What a unique concept. Can you give us some background in how that video all came to be? Was that your idea or someone else's?
Are you kidding? No.
It's truly one of the most unique and almost disconcerting videos on VH1 right now.
That's Sanji, and I think I was going to work with him years ago on Cornflake Girl, and I don't remember what happened. And then he was calling saying, I just have to do this video. So he faxed over to England these pictures of these appendages. And I was kind of showing them around to the tech guys, and it wasn't really sort of gelling with them. They would say, well, she's cute in the picture and everything, but is her head going to be severed? Are there going to be lines? I mean, you know how they get. They're all a bit weird. And so I kind of went, no, I think she's kind of cute as an appendage. I like the idea that it's Scarlet's Walk, and they're these two imperfect people, and she's got two toes, and she doesn't want him to know her secrets. And then once he does, he laughs. And so...
And in case you haven't seen the video, he is a head and a hand, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And he's Adrian Brody.
Right.
And he was lovely. He was nice. That's good. And so, but the bottom line is that I liked being a leg. But it wasn't my leg.
Oh, we had a leg model.
Yeah, of course.
I wondered that, actually.
Oh, yeah, no. Are you kidding? Hand model, leg model.
Without getting too technical, too, another thing I wondered was what the actual shooting process, when they shot the shots of your face, like when you were skateboarding. How did that all work? Did they just say, okay, now imagine yourself skateboarding, balanced on the end of a foot. What would you look like? No,
everything was measured. That's why you had all the... I love those geeks. They're all there with their tape measures and their computers, and you have to be... Your head has to be here because her leg is this high. She had a really long leg. She had a beautiful leg. And so my head had to be placed on the top of her leg. She was right next to me all the time. She was really sweet. We got on, which is good. And so... And the crazy thing is the leg got along with the hand.
Who would have thought that?
I was watching all this from the sidelines, and I don't usually get involved in all that. But you couldn't help but notice, they were... So, the two heads, the heads, those of us who were the heads, were watching the leg and the hand and saying, oh, well, we better step up. So we would, they'd place our heads. And so we were all together all the time, and they'd measure me, and I'd be on, my twisted and contorted half the time.
Got some audience questions for you, if you don't mind. Someone here would like to know what musical artist influenced you the most in your musical career.
Well, that's really difficult because I think that I can't just give it to one person. There's so many musicians that have. It's not like I have one.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I could give you a slew of them, but I think it started first. Maybe classical training was the first, and I sort of ditched it, but I think it had an imprint because I was so young. So I guess Bartók and Debussy, that was an early approach. And then maybe songwriters, some of the great ones, like Lennon and McCartney. It's so boring, everybody says it. But it's true. And how can you not be blown away by John Bonham and John Paul Jones? I mean, come on. How sexy is that? So that was my left hand influence.
It's interesting you'd bring that up, actually, because in your phrasing and some of the chording, I hear maybe some Led Zeppelin influences.
Yeah, big influence for me. And I guess as a songwriter, maybe that was a little bit of the spice that brought it in. I was listening to them very young. While I had my Ladies of the Canyon record, then you tootle over and you listen to Zeppelin too, and I think that was sort of what makes kind of my style, its thing, different from the next person. And then you talk to them and they're listening to blues and ba-da-da-da-da-da. So that's...
Another member of our studio audience wants to know what the best advice you've ever been given is.
Oh. Okay, well, advice I can say on the air.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Do you want musical advice, like biz advice? Because,
no,
you know,
life advice. Life advice from Tori Amos here today.
Okay, well, I'm going to give life music biz diva advice for everybody. This applies to everybody driving in their car. So I'm backstage somewhere with Miss Diana Ross, who's heaven, by the way. And she was saying to me, we were just having a chat, and these little girls come running out of somebody's dressing room, crying, tears. You know, they're the girls that work at TV stations that try and make everything okay for you. They really do. I mean, they're not pulling an attitude. There's no reason they should get tea slung at them and, you know, china shattered and, you know, 6-inch heels thrown at their back. So come picture these little girls running at us, you know, 18 years old, tears. So Diana puts her hand on one of them and says, child, you come here. Now you tell Diana what's happening. And they said, well, I can't do this right, and she doesn't, and I did. And she said, don't you worry about a thing. You take 10 minutes. You don't need to go back to that room. And I looked at her, and she said, I'll deal with this one. So-and-so fancies herself a diva. And clearly she doesn't have the playbook.
Words to etch in stone here this afternoon. With that, why don't we play another song here today?
Okay.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, can we hear it for Tori Amos and the KINK Live Performance Line?
Strange, thought I knew you well, thought I had read the sky, thought I had read a change in your eyes. So strange, woke up to a world that I am not a part, except when I can play it stranger. After all, what were you really looking for? And I wonder, when will I learn? Blue isn't right, everybody knows this. And I wonder, when will I learn? When will I learn? Guess I wasn't deeper than I thought I was. If I have another love for the both of us, just stay. You said we'll build a nest, so I left my life, tried on your friends, tried on your opinions. So when the bridges froze and you did not come home, I put a snowflake under a microscope. After all, what was I really looking for? And I wonder, when will I learn? Yes, I was deeper than I thought I was. If I have enough love for the both of us, so strange. Now I'm finally in. The party has begun. It's not like I can feel you still, but strange what I will leave behind. You call me one more time, but now I must believe it.
One more time from the KINK Live Performance Lounge,
Thanks,
Tori Amos.
everybody.
Wait, don't go away, Tori. Don't go away. Not just yet. We just wanted to thank you and let you know how glad we were. I had a message, too, I needed to pass along. Got an email from someone that said that her daughter works in Boston at a Starbucks that apparently you were at a couple weeks ago, and she served you. And she emailed her mom afterwards, and she said, Mom, Tori was so nice to me and behaved exactly as I always dreamed she would. And the mom emailed me and wanted me to pass that along to you, thanking you for making her daughter's Tori dream there in Boston so real.
Well, clearly, that wasn't the guy at Legal Seafood who made me angry. You know, I'm trying to change. I have been holding this story for weeks. I said, I'm not going on the air in Boston. I'm not going to say a word. You know, they call themselves a family restaurant, so you go in with your kid. It's only 5:30. It's not like, you know, margarita time across the board, people dancing at Legal Seafood. We weren't really, you know. And so, of course, I had to do a little bit of a quick clothes change because everything fell on her, and there you are, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And what a nightmare. And I told him, I said, you know what? There were 70 right answers, and you didn't have one of them.
You think they could have pulled it together, you know?
Well, no, and they're sitting trying to hit you up for, we made $60,000 for Children's Hospital last year. Well, you don't have children in your restaurant, or you shouldn't. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
We're riding your train, Tori. We're on it all the way.
Yeah, I won't be writing that check for $60,000 tonight. Although I could have.
Touché. Well, I would like to thank Volkswagen and McCormick and Schmick's. Volkswagen for sponsoring our live performance lounge. And did you guys enjoy the little treats from McCormick and Schmick's? Very tasty. And before we let you go, an interesting article in Entertainment Weekly this week where they were asking celebs what they were going to leave for Santa under the Christmas tree this holiday. And I thought it'd be interesting to find out what Tori Amos might be leaving for Santa Claus, the jolly old elf, this year.
An anti-inflammatory.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tori Amos.